AI search has changed forever, and 99% of D2C brands are completely invisible to it. Not because their products are bad, not because their branding is weak, but because AI systems like ChatGPT, Amazon Rufus, and Perplexity operate on completely different logic that Google ever did. And most brands have no idea. Here's what's actually happening right now. Consumers are no longer typing best protein powder into a search bar and scrolling through the blue links. They are asking an AI, what's a high protein, low sugar option that works for someone who does intermittent fasting and doesn't want a chalky texture. And the AI doesn't show them a long list of options. It picks one, maybe two. And if your brand isn't structured in a way that machine logic can parse, categorize, and verify, you don't exist. I've spent the last 12 months working deeply around AI visibility, e-commerce discovery, and how brands are starting to show up inside AI-powered recommendation systems. And the shift I'm seeing right now in AI-driven discovery is the biggest structural change to e-commerce since I started working in this space. My name is Simon, and in this video I'm going to show you exactly why 99% of brands won't get recommended by AI in 2026 and the blueprint to make sure you are in the 1% that does. Let's start with the shift itself, because if you don't understand this at structural level, none of the tactics will make sense. We've moved from a keyword-centric world to conversation-centric world. In the old model, Google-ranked pages, brands competed for a position on a results page. Some were spending thousands of dollars on PPC campaigns. That was the old game. In the new model, an AI acts as personal advisor. It pre-selected products. It narrows choice before the user ever sees a store. And here's the part that should make every D2C brand owner stop and think. When a user asks ChatGPT or Perplexity for a product recommendation, the systems don't browse your website the way a human does. Most LLMs don't process JavaScript effectively. So if your product descriptions, your Q&A, your specifications are sitting behind JavaScript-only rendering, you are invisible to machine. Google Gemini is the one exception. Every other major LLM needs your critical product data to be in the initial server-side HTML response. That's the floor. That's table stakes. And this leads directly to the first lever every brand needs to pull. Lever 1. Machine-readable rich product data. Think about how your product pages are bullied right now. Most D2C brands have optimized for the human experience. Great visuals, hero copy, and handful of bullet points that works for a human shopper. But for an AI, it's almost meaningless. An AI doesn't see your visual layout. It reads semantic properties, it looks for logical classification. It asks, what does the product do? Who is it for? What problem does it solve? If your product page can't answer these questions in structured, natural language that a machine can parse, you get skipped. The fix is moving from what I call the thin specs to rich data. Instead of writing Meister-wicking synthetic upper, you write keeps feet dry during high outputs activities like trail running in wet conditions. That's a completely different signal. Instead of using internal SKU categories, you use direct natural language answers to the questions. Your customers are already typing into AI interfaces. This isn't just a context exercise, it's a technical one, and it connects to the next level, which is where most brands have an even bigger blind spot. Level 2. Usage scenarios over keywords. Here's something most brands don't know about how AI actually processes a search query. When someone asks ChatGPT a product question, the model doesn't just look up the one query. It uses a technique called query fanout. A single user prompt can trigger multiple background searches at the same time to synthesize a more accurate answer. Google's AI can trigger up to 22 different background queries from one prompt. ChatGPT typically runs about two. What does that mean for your brand? It means you need content that maps to the full range of synthesized intents behind your category, not just the obvious head terms. A brand called Lovevery does this brilliantly. Instead of just selling toys, they categorize every product across developmental stages, age ranges, and situational use cases. Things like tummy time or travel friendly. That gives the machine logic a clear way to match their inventory to almost any specific prompt, apparent types. That's the standard you are competing against now. For your own brand, the three highest leverage fields to add to your product data are usage context. Explicitly state the problem the product solves in plain language. Price positioning. Help the AI categorize you correctly for budget versus premium prompts. Problem solution mapping. Use the exact language your customers use in reviews, not internal marketing language. Now, here's where it gets really interesting. And this is the part most brands never think about. Level 3. Your semantic meaning profile. AI doesn't just look at what you say about yourself. It cross-references what the intent says about you. And if there's a mismatch, the machine sides with the internet every time. Here's what I mean. If your brand copy says your product is ultra lightweight, but Reddit threads and forum discussions constantly describe it as super singly robust, but a bit heavy, the LLM recategorizes your brand based on the external sentiment. Your own marketing claim losses. That has a name. It's the gap between brand messaging and user reality. Closing the gap is now a core operational task, not just a brand exercise. One of the highest leverage things you can do right now is this. Treat every review response as data layer task. LLMs ingest the sentiment of a page. So when you respond to reviews using positive, specific, uplifting language, you are not just helping one customer. You are improving the sentiment score that the AI assigns to your brand profile over time. And speaking of what AI assigns to your brand, let me walk you through the 5 layers that actually govern whether or not you get recommended. The Seedlight framework. AI Seedlight will think about these through 5 distinct data layers. Layer 1, identity. This is your brand self-description, your About Us page, your social bias, your positioning. If this copy is too broad, too vague, and trying to speak to everyone, the AI can't precisely recommend you for anything. We call this the IBM trap. IBM built a brand so broad and universal that an AI looking for a personalized fit can't anchor it to any specific use case. Don't do that. Layer 2, language. This is the external conversation happening on properties you don't own. Reviews, Reddit, forums, this is user reality. If you are not monitoring and influencing this layer, you are leaving your AI recommendation profile to chance. Layer 3, distribution. This is your presence in what we call super feeders. Wikipedia, high authority niche forums, top tier listicles. These are the sites that LLMs use disproportionately for validation. Being cited in one super feeder can do more for your AI visibility than 100 blog posts on your own domain. Layer 4, data. This is your technical architecture, structured schema, especially JSON LD, machine understandable entities. If you haven't implemented this yet, it's the single highest ROI technical task you can do this month. Layer 5, integrity. This is the volume and frequency of consistent, verifiable mentions across the web. This builds what AI treats a confidence interval. The higher your confidence interval, the more comfortable AI is citing you without risk of hallucination. Brands with high confidence intervals get cited. Brands without them get skipped. Now let's talk about where the actual transactions are happening right now. Platform execution. Amazon Rufus, ChatGPT, and YouTube. Understanding the framework is one thing. Winning by platform is another. Amazon Rufus is the one that most D2C brands with Amazon presence are sleeping on. Rufus isn't just a chatbot feature. It's a conversion engine built into the buying flow. Rufus assisted sessions sessions convert at 3.5 times the rate of non-assisted sessions. And there's one specific journey inside Rufus that carries a 50% conversion rate. It's called the cart reconciler journey. That's where a buyer invokes Rufus late in the funnel to confirm it. That's the rescue sale. It's only 7% of sessions, but it closes at half. If your listings aren't optimized to answer the questions Rufus pulls data from, you're losing the sales to whoever is. YouTube is the other major shift happening right now. YouTube has overtaken Reddit as a primary social citation source of LLM answers. Data from Bluefish shows YouTube is cited in 16 of LLM's answers, compared to 10% for Reddit. Machines love high-quality transcripts and explainer content. Here's the 3 quick optimizations for YouTube AI visibility. 1. Use structured descriptions with clear headers for price, features, and comparisons. This lets LLM extract your data to build comparison tables. 2. Name your video files with your target keyword before you upload. For example, best cycling jacket 2026 MP4. That matters. 3. Answer the most common user question directly in the first 30 seconds of the video. That's the window the LLM uses to capture the summary. How to measure this when you can't rely on traffic anymore? Traditional traffic metrics don't tell the full story anymore, because in this new world, users can get answers directly inside the AI interface without clicking anywhere, so the new KPIs you need to track are different. Brand mention frequency. How often does the AI name your brand in relevant prompts? Citation share of voice. Are you present in the super feeder sources for your category? Sentiment score stability. Is your AI perceived brand value consistent over time, or does it drift? Confidence interval stability. Can the AI consistently validate your brand claims across background searches, or does it hedge? At Seedlight and Amazon Way, we have proprietary tool that measures AI visibility through purchase query analysis. It's the clearest way we have found to quantify where a brand actually stands in the AI recommendation layer, not by guessing, but by measuring what AI systems really recommend. The brands that win aren't necessarily that ones with the best products or the biggest budgets. They are the ones the machine understands and trusts consistently. Everything I walked you through today is the high-level blueprint: machine-readable product data, usage scenario mapping, semantic meaning profiles, the 5 layers framework, platform-specific execution. But there is significantly more depth to each of these layers. And the technical implementation is where most brands need direct support. If you want to find out exactly where your brand stands in the AI recommendation layer right now and what your highest leverage moves are, you can book a strategy call with me and my team. The link is in the description. We work with established D2C and e-commerce brands to close the gap between where they show up today and where they need to be for the AI first era. If that's where you want to be, the link is below. Bye.